Don't worry, it's all going to be like that.
Good afternoon, Mr. Green. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Mr. Menenberg. How's it going?
It's going well. I thought we would take just a few minutes and introduce ourselves. For those of you who are watching this who don't know, Mr. Green and myself are officially the class of 2023 advisors. And we'll get into what that means in just a minute. But first, let's introduce ourselves. So, Mr. Green, could you tell our young sophomores who you are, what you teach, and maybe like one fun thing you did this summer?
One fun thing. So Mr. Green, obviously, some of you may know me from last year. I taught honors biology to freshmen last year, so you'd all be sophomores. This year, I kind of pulled myself out of that, and I am now teaching anatomy and physiology along with my biotechnology course. So I teach only science electives now to juniors and seniors. You'll get there, you'll fall in love with me, and you'll want to take my class next year in your senior year. Don't roll your eyes at me, Mr. Menenberg.
That is a bold claim, my friend. Very bold words.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I do here at Eastlake. This is my first time being a class advisor. I'm pretty excited about this. And when Mr. Menenberg approached me about doing this, he said, this is for a class of 2023, and I have a hard time putting my mind there, that you all will someday, actually in the very near future, be graduating. And it's one of my favorite days of the year. It's when I get to be the most proud I am as a teacher. I'm very excited about that. So let's see, what is something I did this summer? My wife and I just bought a house out in Duval. And
don't tell the kids the address because they will find you.
Well, I'm not going to tell them the address. Why would I do that?
I don't know. Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake. Anyway, so we bought the house, and I decided that I wanted to do a little landscaping, and so our yard is kind of in shambles right now. Samantha, my 2-year-old, has been very instrumental in doing a lot of the manual labor. I taught her how to use a rake the other day. It was adorable.
That's exciting.
And now she just wants to rake everything. It's very fun. So that took up a good chunk of our summer, was buying the house, moving in, and everything like that. So I didn't really get a whole lot of time to go do anything what I would consider, sort of traditionally fun. But that was kind of exciting. So what about you, Mr. Menenberg? Tell us about yourself.
Well, first, Mr. Menenberg, for those of you who are now sophomores, you had Mr. Green last year. Many of you will have me this year because I teach honors 10th grade humanities, which includes honors English and AP modern world history. Many of you probably have friends who have had me in the past, and most of the stories are true. So I apologize in advance. I also teach Introduction to Public Speaking, and some of you will have that class. That class is available for sophomores, juniors, and seniors, so you'll be in a nice little mix there. But as far as something I did this summer, I also did some landscaping. My son he's 3.5, so he's very good with a rake. But we got to go to Cannon Beach for about a week earlier this month, and that was a lot of fun. For those of you who have been, it's a pretty special place down in Oregon. I'm not a huge fan of the state of Oregon in general because they don't let you pump your own gas, but I do think that place is pretty awesome. So we got to go there. It was a lot of fun. And my kids did not actually eat any sand. So that's impressive. I'm proud of them. I'm very proud.
It's really nice. It's really nice over there. It's one of the nicer beaches, I think, in Oregon.
It is. I would say so as well. Now, so sophomores, listen up. We are your advisors. Now, some of you may be wondering what that means. To the average sophomore, it probably doesn't mean a ton, but there are a handful of officers. I'm going to read their names in case you don't know who your class officers are. You should, because if there's something you want to have addressed or brought to the school's attention or what have you, this would be a good place to start, either with myself or Mr. Green or your class officers. Your president is Abby McNair. Your vice president is Beth Austin. And your treasurer and secretary is Ronnie Ehrlich. So feel free to reach out to them if you know them. If you don't, you can always contact Mr. Green or myself, and we'll hopefully be there to support you. In years past, what the class advisors do, in addition to chaperoning all of the big dances, is we kind of provide a little extra support for your specific class as you go through the high school process. Right now, with dances kind of in limbo, we don't know if we'll be doing those at this point. But if we are, you can rest assured that Mr. Green and myself will be there in fine form. Now, I won't speak for Mr. Green, but I will do the entire Eastlake school community a favor and promise that I will not dance.
Weenie.
Okay, well, okay, I'm helping. That's for humanity, Mr. Green. What about you? Are you going to get out there on the dance floor and make everyone uncomfortable?
When we finally can get back together and do those activities, I'm very excited. Yes, I will do that. 100%. Okay, I have no shame.
A lot of. Well, we know that. A lot of promises are being made here, sophomore. So please pay attention.
I said if.
Now here, I will say this: as a dad and an old man, I'm very old. This whole social distancing thing, I actually think is fantastic for school dances, because part of the role of the chaperone is to keep students from dancing too close. Well, now they have to be 6 feet apart for so many obvious reasons. And it's just great. I would love to see two people slow dancing 6 feet apart. Wouldn't that'd be fantastic?
That sounds like.
I mean, it'd be very romantic. I think
that's just
would definitely be in the air if that happens.
That's just called a bunch of people standing in a room swaying. That's all that is. Just picture that. Just a bunch of people standing 6 feet apart, just swaying back and forth.
It'd be really kind of upsetting, actually. It'd be you think like under mind control or something. It'd be
that looks kind of a variety of classic sci-fi or zombie movies come to mind when I think of that.
So. Yes, zombie, exactly. It would be great. Okay, sophomores, we're not going to take up a lot more of your time. I just want to ask Mr. Green one question before we call it a day. What are you most looking forward to this year in light of our circumstances?
I've gone back and forth on this one. I gotta admit, this one's going to be a challenge for me. And I think a lot of your teachers are going to be really challenged by this too, because this is not the way we were taught to be teachers. This is not the way we've grown to be teachers. This is all very new for us. So I would say the opportunity to reimagine what learning could be in the light of what it has to be. And I think what that's going to translate to is thinking about how we convey information to you students, and then also how we do things like assessments. This is going to be, I like to use the word cutting edge, because I feel like we're there. And what I'm really excited to see is the way that this is going to change education in the future. We're going to have to pare down all the fluff of education and really get to the meat of what you need to learn. What is the most important? Some of the fluff is important, but
there's no fluff in Mr. Menenberg's class.
You have the least
all business
class ever.
All business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, things are going to change. Things are going to change. The way we do business, normal is not the same normal anymore. So that's kind of what I'm excited to see. Plenty of challenges to get there. A lot of obstacles. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. What are you excited about?
Well, I mean, like you, I'm looking at this as a challenge that's kind of an exciting challenge. It's not going to be easy, but on the same side, there's a way that we're going to be able to connect with students in a different way that we haven't been able to before. And I'm looking forward to being able to kind of reach a wider audience with the content that I teach by way of the internet and by way of these tools and resources the district has provided. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting to see. And because we're going to be more or less remote, whether we're at the building or in our homes, students are going to be able to see us in a little bit of a different light. And I think everybody's going to have a chance to give each other a little bit more grace and a little bit more understanding as we're kind of navigating through this kind of a unique and very unprecedented time. Yes. So I'm looking forward to that as a challenge. And I hope we all come out of it with the necessary content, but with also a newfound appreciation for everything that goes into our job. And, you know, I speak for myself, but I think Mr. Green shares this. We like what we do. We enjoy our students. We enjoy coming to work every day. And though we aren't going to be there in person, we are definitely looking forward to kind of being there to support all of our students, and namely right now, the class of 2023, as you embark on your second year in the amazing high school journey at Eastlake. So
I'm kind of excited. You touched on, you know, kind of we're all sort of exploring new things and giving each other grace as we learn. I'm kind of excited because a lot of this is new to me, but a lot of this is new to students and other faculty as well. So we're all kind of in this together. We all kind of have to give each other a little bit of grace. You know, tech problems are a big problem when we're in person, and it's made all that much harder when we're far apart. And so just we're all in it together, and that's kind of exciting. This isn't a challenge that you have to handle by yourself or I have to handle by myself. This is stuff we can support each other into. Hopefully it's not the new exact normal. I would really like to be back to some sense of normal at some point, but we'll figure it out. I'm not completely discouraged, so
we'll figure it out. And look at it. Remember, you heard him promise to dance.
Oh yeah,
without shame on a dance floor at some point in the future. Now, if we don't get to have last question, if we don't get to have these in-person dances, Mr. Green, can the sophomores count on you to film yourself dancing like nobody's watching? Wow.
Speechless. I'm never speechless. I almost always have something to say. Well, let's revisit that. We'll revisit that one.
Okay.
I'm not young enough to have really loosened up via the internet yet, you know. Okay. So I don't know if I'm there yet. I'm much better in person. So I mean, we'll revisit this one at Christmas time. Maybe that'll be your Christmas present as a video.
Okay, we'll see. Class of 2023. We're excited. You got a lot of work to do to convince Mr. Green to do this. I think that's on everybody's mind now, and hopefully it won't ruin the rest of your summer. And, you know, we'll see what happens. But in any case, we'll hopefully get to meet you and talk to you soon, class of 2023. Enjoy the last few days of summer, and we will talk to you soon.